I was also in the blogs because I made comments about Clive Davis. And I said, watch what kind of stories you're going to see coming out about him. I signed my record deal when I was 22 years old. And so I learned about human nature through the lens of the music industry. So I got a full hot dose of all of it. And I know what kind of stories are going to come. I don't need to say anything more because you're going to hear the stories. You're already hearing the stories. If you're on social media, you hear some of it's true, some of it's not true, some of it's conspiracy, some of it's, exaggerated, but a lot of it's true. And it's not my place to tell stories of people close to me, but I've heard some stories and I have my own experience. And again, it was wrongly reported that I talked about our working relationship. I did not have a working relationship with him, but I was certainly at the effect of his power.
Well, India Arie is in the crosshairs again of these people, man, in our community, right? Now, I can come on here and I can destroy, a lot of our people and say our people don't want to change. And I'm going to get into that, right? But I understand the conditions of our people. When I come out and I talk and I say the things I say when I'm in bishop mode, I understand the people that I'm dealing with and the mindset of our people, right? I know when I was growing up, we had NWA, we had Little Kim, we had all those, we had Akinelli, we had Luke, right? But we also had Public Enemy and X-Clan, and right? We had a whole bunch of different things where things was in categories that we can go out and we can listen to. Where the children today, they just getting fed 24-hour cycle of filth, right? This is just what it is, right? I try to be understanding and I don't want to be a hater, so I listen with my ears. I take the emotion out, right? But the one thing us OGs know, we know the outcome to the story because we live long enough to see it, right? Where the young people, y'all just want to have fun. Y'all complain about being a baby mom or having too many kids, can't go to parties because they pound unaliving people, right? But you still want to indulge in the behaviors and activity that bring about those consequences, right? Without the accountability. That's just what comes with it. But I've learned to just as an OG, you got to get out the way and let things, you can only talk to people who got an ear to hear. Them young people want to do that. When you become a baby mom or you out there scamming, you go to jail, you don't go to their defense and help them. You get out the way because that's what they asked for. I'm in the prevention business. But if you want to be hard-headed and do that, then you gotta be accountable to the consequences that come with it. That's what I've learned in my 50 years of living, right? So I'm not giving my energy to people that don't want to make change. So now when you hear this song, we gotta do this first. Her mother, remember, did time for unaliving somebody while she was out boosted.
It's crazy because art imitates life all the time. And I don't think a lot of people remember that about 5 years ago, Young Miami's mom actually just got out of jail because she went to jail for being the getaway driver during a theft, a boosting attempt. She was outside waiting for her partner to come out. He actually ended up stealing a whole bunch of purses, and she was the getaway driver, and she was driving recklessly, and she hit somebody and killed them, and she went to jail for that. So Young Miami is pretty much singing about the life that she probably knows.
When I found out your girl, Young Miami from the City Girls, had a mom that was in jail and she was getting released recently, either today or yesterday. Today is Sunday, March 28th of 2021. So it was either today or yesterday, Saturday, March 27th of 2021. I had to know why in the world she got arrested, right? So I went and looked up some information. Shout out to the Miami Herald. MiamiHerald.com posted this article on August 24th of 2017. David Ovale, that's Ovalle, posted this article on August 30th of 2017 at 10:26 a.m. titled "Stolen Purses from Macy's, a Police Car Chase, and a Dead Grandmother. Who is to blame?" Now, I won't read the whole article to you guys, but I'm just going to go ahead and cut to the chase. It says, "There is no question that Xavier Robinson and Kenya Young drove to the Aventura Mall, stole Michael Kors and Juicy Couture purses from Macy's, and led police on a dramatic chase that ended with a motorist dead from a high-speed collision. It's up to jurors, so she was tried by a jury, to sift through the details and decide who's really to blame." Heard from Robinson's defense on Thursday, he was a simple shoplifter acting on his own, and it was Young who took the wheel of his borrowed Chrysler 300, driving like a madwoman before plowing into a car driving through a North Miami Beach intersection. Killed was 40-year-old security guard Emily Anderson, who was driving home from another exhausting shift to support her 2 grandchildren. Quote, "The way Kenya drove was reckless," Assistant Public Defender Lauren Dawson told jurors during opening statement of Robinson's trial for the M word. The way Kenya drove was dangerous, end quote. And let me see, I'm going to skip ahead. Okay, it says that the driver was driving at 66 miles per hour, more than double the legal limit. Quote, not braking at a stop sign, T-boning the car driven by Emily Anderson. Miami-Dade prosecutor Justin Funk told the jury, that's F-U-N-C-K. That's funk, and you had to add the C because it's that just that funky. Allegedly, Robinson, 36, is charged with first-degree felony M-word, armed robbery, vehicular H-word, and reckless driving resulting in serious bodily injury. He faces up to life in prison if convicted. The tragedy happened on August 3rd of 2009. Prosecutors said Robinson and Young were in on the robbery together, parking their car in the fire lane for a quick getaway from Macy's. He stole a Michael Kors bag while Young took 2 Juicy Couture purses. As they ran off, a security officer tussled with Young as Robinson.
So to make insult to injury, she make a song like this knowing that her mother was involved in an accident that unalived the person. This just show you, listen, man, listen. Let me just say this. As a hardcore pro-black, everybody ain't my kind. Everybody ain't my people. They ain't my people. They ain't my kind. So you out there boosting and you get caught up in some stealing, you go on a high-speed chase and you run over somebody and unalive them, and your daughter come and make this kind of song? Somebody's dead, right? But this is what I'm saying, right? When it comes to us and about being FBA and having to clean up ourselves and do the work, right? This is what I'm saying, right? Because this is the thing what I want young people. No matter of fact, no, I'm going to hold this because I want you to hear what this young girl had to say about it. And I get it. She's young, right? Haven't really experienced life, doesn't understand fully what accountability means yet. Right, especially what society is spewing to our young women. The same thing they did to our young men back in the 90s when Old Dog was out there with the gun and the Glock, and they were saying America's nightmare. They had us thinking that we was Tony Montana, crack era, running wild. Well, today they spewing a whole bunch of foolishness to our women and making them believe live in the fantasy world. So they playing games with us, right? I lived long enough to see this. But listen to this.
India Arie, I need you to shut up. I know y'all like, oh my God, did you just tell India Arie to shut up? I did. And this is what we mean as a generation when we say, hey, I'm not my forefathers. Just because you older don't mean I'm gonna let you say something I don't agree with. Because see, my issue is, India, is that all these years, my whole life, your whole life, these men, daddy whole life, the granddaddy whole life, they've been making songs about doing the worst. The worst. I'm talking about hurting people, violence, robbing, killing, putting substances in their body that should not be in their body at all. I mean, all of our whole life. And now that women are doing it, and they're not even making the same. We ain't even talking about hurt nobody. We ain't even talking about no violence. We just said we want a scammer. We just said we want somebody with a little bit of money. We just said the economy is bad. Working ain't going so well. So what a scammer's at? What a boost is that? What's going on? That's all she was saying. But my issue is when women finally start making their type of ratchet music, now you want to say something? Now it's an issue. And I'm sure y'all gonna say, well, she spoke up on it before. Okay, well, now that it's happened with the girlies, I want you to actually be quiet, because I just don't feel like that's women empowerment. I don't feel like that's helping us at all. And at the end of the day, Miami is getting her time to shine. She trying to come up from the bottom. She trying to come up from being a duo, do her solo thing. She been hitting the ground running. I mean, trying. And she finally got a hit. And India Arie is going to be the person to come out and rain on her parade. I don't like that. I don't like that for Miami. I don't like that for India Arie. I don't like it for female rap. Let them have fun. Everybody don't want to be conscious. You get what I'm saying? Everybody don't want to listen to that, and everybody don't want to make that type of music. If the neo-soul community come out and start talking about scammers and boosters and stuff, okay, Miss Arie, this is your time to shine. But let us in the ratchet hip-hop community do what we want. Let us make some Trina-influenced music. Dang, like, I like you, but right now I need you to shut up.
So what I'm saying is you have to give people what they ask for, right? When you want to be ratchet, you want to be a bad bee. See, because, you know, in the scripture says in my house there's many mansions, and in many mansions there's many rooms, right? Right? But we're going to deal with that as a metaphor for down here, right, in this place, right? There's many mansions and there's many rooms. If you're walking through the mansion, you stick your head in one room, you say, well, I don't belong in there. I stick my head in there, I don't belong in there. Right? I look through the window. and say, oh man, yeah, I'm cool on that, right? This is what she wants. So now when you see, because we know the outcome and the accountability come, when she's online crying about man because she done had a baby and the man left her, or she getting abused, or she get that, mind your business. This is what she asked for, right? They want to be ratchet. They want to live the ratchet life. It's art imitating life. We know that there's a culture within our culture, right? That's the underbelly of our culture. And a lot of people love to partake in that. That's what they want to partake in. Get out of the way. Now I understand. I'm going to be honest. I'm about to be 100% honest. I got my program. I deal with underserved kids, right? And I'm from the hood, Southwest Philadelphia, one of the most gulliest places in America in the 90s. I grew up there, right? But I understand not everybody black that gets away from certain groups of black people are coons and sellouts. They just want better for themselves. Some people don't want to change. Some people want to be ratchet. That's what they want. And they're going to crucify you, same way they did Christ, every time you try to do certain things to correct them. They got to change when they're ready. You just don't be in the way, or you don't let their misdoings hurt or harm you or affect you. Get out of their way. That's what they want to do. This woman making that song, knowing what her mama did, she's showing you where her mentality is, right? So we already know. Like this whole thing gets goofy. This whole thing gets goofy and crazy, man. So like India Arie, you know, somebody made a post. I'm calling for a boycott of Young Miami's song "Spin That." I believe it's degrading to our culture. At some point, we have to take seriously the power of music has over our perception and the values it reinforces. This can't be the song of the summer. The India Arie went, I spent my entire adult life caring way too much because I finally learned that nobody cares with a capital C, and explaining it to them is not going to make them care. Everything you listen to, see, eat is going to influence you. So make sure you make wise choices, y'all, right? So she came out and she posted that, but then you had Trick Daddy and Luke and Gilly, and all these people come out here and say a whole bunch of just, you know, they just come out here just saying whatever.
Say shout out to my little homegirl, Young Miami. Got the hottest record on radio, streets, video, all social media platforms, Apple Music, Spotify, all that, YouTube. The finest little game right now, and everybody is jamming this record except a few old centrals. Let me tell you something. That's why I don't you olds right now. That's why I would not see one of you old assholes, because you hoes is too modern and too plain, outdated. The game done passed you by. Do you think Young Miami give a you don't like her record? You take our time to go on social media to down talk a girl. We've been talking negativity in every music, in every song since before I even started doing music, and I've been doing it for years. I'm about you bitches' age. You bitches say something about me. Leave that little young lady alone, because if you see how pretty she is, you don't look like her. So it giving me hate a little bit. You see how fine she is. You ain't shaped like her. You don't shape like me. If you shape like me, you do not have grounds. You don't have a dog in the fight to be getting on the social media, down talking to this young lady who's doing something positive and successful. You got to raise your own fucking kids. If you let music raise your kids, that's you bad breath. Always talking about it. Man, let the girl get her money. All the negative records in the world that came out and people have made plenty money off of. Y'all want to talk down on the young lady because she got a hit record, a hot record? You think that's gonna stop? You don't see she's climbing the charts every day? Y'all leave Young Miami alone and spit it.
Anybody lived in the world of Jill Scott, and all music was Jill Scott and India Arie and Afrocentric, we would be bored as it's just lyrics. So when this girl, India Arie, or whoever the hell it is, listen, I have no problem with these Afrocentric type people, but they're always jumping into the conversation of wanting art to be created like they are. If everybody lived in the world of Jill Scott and all music was Jill Scott and India Arie and Afrocentric, we would be. I'm sorry. I love their music. I appreciate their music. I appreciate their artistic values. But at the end of the day, why are you having a conversation about something that's considered as art? Does anybody get all upset when the man is standing up there and people are looking at the sculpture, the art sculpture, or this man with his jumper tools out? Nobody has nothing to say about that. But then it's always us. It's always black on black crime. It's always black on black crime. You never hear them talk about each other. You never hear the white women talk about the white man. You don't hear the white artist talk about another white artist. Think about it. Where is it?
And then Gilly jumped in.
Kev just came in here. This is the legendary DJ Cosmic Kev. He just came in and told me there's a bunch of controversy going on down over Young Miami song.
Yeah, they hate crazy.
Why though?
They just say, oh, it
is
my line. Their hate is crazy.
India Arie post.
No, I ain't see nobody post.
Trick Daddy just responded to India Arie.
Oh, I ain't see that, but I'm gonna just tell a young girl, keep doing your thing. You know what I mean? Where them scamming ass niggas at? See, a lot of them oldies, they don't understand niggas out here scamming like now. They don't understand. Keep doing your thing.
Yeah, I'm for that, nigga.
Yeah, my neck, my back, and my crack. Oh, doo-doo brown, doo-doo brown, doo-doo brown, doo-doo brown. Niggas, boom, 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 boom. Niggas been talking crazy on records, man. You talking about, what's some more records? You a DJ? What's some more records?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, police coming straight from the underground. Come on, what's some more?
Well, give me some head.
Yeah, oh, give me some head. Give me some head. Give me some. What's some more?
Two Live Crew.
Doodle Brown. I'm gonna rock. Yeah, man, keep doing your thing, shorty. Talking about hating niggas.
It is being wrongly reported that I think we should boycott this song of the summer. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I refuse to sing that song, but either you know what it is or you don't. And if you don't, you can go find it. It's very easy. But I don't think we should boycott. What I want is to see people understand the power of words and music and to make choices that are healthy for them. That's what I want. Do I think it matters what I want for people? No. I have finally learned that it doesn't matter and that there's no amount of sacrificing my life force energy that is going to make anybody want anything better for themselves. All I can do is emanate what I emanate, stand for what I stand for, and hope that it reaches who it's meant to reach. And that's it. And that's all I'm going to do. And so my comment makes it very clear that I don't think we should boycott. My comment is tantamount to everybody doesn't want the same thing. And there are a lot of people who are saying it's just a song. Well, if that's what you think, enjoy. But what I know is that music has power. But of course, I have used that power to help some people. And I have traveled around this world twice. And I see the impact of what we export out of the Black American experience to the rest of the world. Longer story for another time, but I've seen it. So I know. And I'm telling you what it is. But you enjoy if that's what you want to do. And I will enjoy doing what I want to do. And that's why I don't think anybody needs to boycott. I think people just need to make choices for themselves. That's what I think.
Now, mind you, Gilly has a son that was unalived on these treacherous streets here in Philadelphia. And I keep trying to tell you, the culture outside is what creates the art that people sing about. So there's a cultural dynamic in Philadelphia, Atlanta, Miami, Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, right? Chicago, Boston, Philadelphia, all these places, New York City, Los Angeles, Oakland, right? But I say Detroit, Milwaukee, all these places, St. Louis, there's a cultural thing within the community, man, that brings about this. Because before you had hip hop, if you go back to the 70s, 1974, Philadelphia had over 500 and something homicides. New York City had almost 2,500 homicides. You deal with Detroit, 714 homicides, the most they ever had in the history of the city. Chicago had 980. So there was no rap music, but it was the culture, it was the gang culture, it was the consciousness, the mindset that created the movements. So you get to crack era, right? We're trying to wake each other up. We're trying to use music to influence our people to do better. Even during the disco era, during the music era, you know, revolution, power to the people. We fighting against the machine. But at some point, the machine began to win because we began to take what we was doing outside and put it into the music. Then you have Bees Ain't Nothing But Hoes and Tricks, and you start having a revolution of that kind of music being downloaded into the subconscious minds of the people. Then you had the internet comes out, and the culture that goes on in St. Louis now is being influential in Philadelphia. The culture that's influential in Philadelphia is being influenced in Atlanta. The culture that's influential in Chicago goes everywhere. The culture that's influential in Los Angeles begins to spread like wildfire because now you can see everything, right? You could be everywhere from a living room of your home, and it made it even worse, right? So this is where we're at. This is where we're at, right? And people say that they want better, but people are not willing to do better. They're not willing to make the sacrifice to be better, right? So you have black women that do come out, that have come out, and they voice their opinions on this, and they agree with India Arie.
My community never ceases the moment to disappoint me. I am so annoyed, it's not even funny. Because the fact that y'all would even have India Arie and Young Miami in the same sentence is baffling to me. Y'all mad that out of all the rappers and singers we have out there, India Arie chose to point out Young Miami song, rightfully so. How are we supposed to move forward or advance in this world if y'all continue to set us back? Y'all, not the white man. Y'all, with all this negativity y'all keep putting out there in the universe. Y'all really feel like that song by Young Miami is not affecting the black community? And the celebrities that are coming out trying to defend this nonsense are out of their minds. Y'all are a part of the problem too. Trick Daddy? Comment irritated me so bad. Because what do you mean a young black female doing something positive? That's not positive. She's telling these little girls to go out there and wreak havoc in those streets. She's telling them to pop tags from clothing that they can't afford. She's telling them to steal those clothings that they cannot afford. India Arie said nothing wrong. There's no lie in the fact that music has power. That music plays in your subconscious. We are so wrapped up in trying to keep up with the celebrity lifestyle that we are destroying our own communities. And we don't care as long as we look good doing it. And this is why no one respects us. I deserve respect. You deserve respect. Our children deserve respect. But we won't get that because of how we portray ourselves to the world. Do better, people, and leave India alone.
The people who are upset at India Arie for her commentary on Young Miami's new song, Spin That, they clearly have never listened to her music. And I feel like they're making it personal, like she has a personal vendetta against Young Miami, and it's just not that. Listen to her music. Listen to her music. Young Miami's song and City Girl songs, a lot of, the rap girlies promote prostitution and they just call it tricking, okay? But again, if you listen to India Arie, which I feel like a lot of the commentary that you're seeing from the younger generation to try to defend this is, well, what about Foxy Brown? What about Lil' Kim? What about Trina? What do you have to say about that? Because that's the generation that India Arie comes from. But again, I don't think y'all have listened to her music because I feel like, it's not personal against Young Miami. India Arie has always been what they now call woke. She's always been, I don't even know how to describe it, like the black hippie. Like the very much freedom, love yourself, black and proud type of artist. And her style is kind of the reason why she's never gotten bigger than what she is because of, her morals, her values. All you have to do, her biggest song is I Am Not My Hair. I feel like that song alone should tell you what type of person she is. She made a whole hit about loving your natural hair, about going through different styles to try to conform to society's beauty norms and, trying to tame our hair. She made a whole hit record about our hair, black hair, that I still listen to when I need that little pick-me-up. Again, if you listen to that song, you'll see what type of person she is, and you will know that she does not have a personal vendetta against Young Miami. And it is okay if she does not like that song. If you're mad at somebody for not liking a song about tricking, you are mad at somebody for not liking a song about prostitution, I don't know, this generation is so, soft to me because I get so offended when somebody doesn't like something that they like.
Every generation is being socially engineered to indulge in degenerate culture. I was part of that late 80s, early 90s culture where, we was running around selling drugs, making a lot of money, traveling around the world, banging women. A lot of us died, went to prison, wasn't there for the children. The women was hoeing. Yes, your mother was a hoe in the 90s. Absolutely. She in church now, but and it's 4 of y'all, and 2 of y'all don't know who your daddy is because your mama was a hoe. She just didn't tell you she was a hoe. I'm just telling you the truth. We indulged in all that. Now, why are you saying that, George? Because you know I keep it a buck over here. Why are you saying all that, George? I'm saying all that because we live long enough to know what the outcome of this thing is. At some point, don't we get to grow up and be better? I watch the Irish, I watch the Italians, the Polacks, right? They come to this country because remember, we the foundation. They come to this country, they sold drugs, they did drive-bys, they did everything. And they was able to redevelop their people because they had help from the government because they become model minorities and honorary W folks. We couldn't. The only people, we ain't got no friends. The only people we got to help us is us. So at some point, if I did wrong, that don't mean you do wrong. It's okay for you to do wrong. You got to be better. And let me say this to the women. Let me say this to the women. Because I hear a lot of you women say, well, when the men did it, it wasn't a problem. But when we do it, let me tell you women something. You women are the mothers that give birth to these boys that you see are murdered in these streets every day across America. They come out of your womb. You are affected, you are devastated by the things that go on in some parts of our culture. So why would you want to indulge and partake in the behavior that men was doing that you know was destructive? Now all of a sudden you want to do it? Why? I'm saying no. No, it's not, well, men did it. Why, when we doing it is a problem? Yes, it's a problem. Because we knew it was a problem when the men was doing it and still is. So you can't use that as an argument. No. You just as affected by it as us. Because when you see this degenerate culture, they coming out of your womb. You're being affected too. Man, we gotta want to do better, man. We gotta want to do better, man. And you can only help the ones that want to be helped. Right? And let me say this, Young Miami ain't just a problem because this thing was a problem before that. It's a culture within the community that's a problem that has to be eradicated. And if we don't eradicate that culture within the community, then you're going to keep having this kind of stuff, man. That's all. But y'all let me know what y'all think, man. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV, leave your comments in the comment section. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.